I'm here with Kartik and David. We're outside Old Trafford, a gloomy, foggy Old Trafford. Manchester United have lost 2-0 against Burnley. What happened?
You'd think by now we know what to expect from these lot. You sort them out of set pieces, you don't play long balls into them, and you try and shift it quickly through the wings, use your full-backs who are high up, shift it quick, get in behind. We did the exact opposite of that. We didn't look after the set pieces. We didn't look like we did any planning on the set pieces. We tried the long balls forward to Martial and Daniel James, of all people, and we didn't shift it quick enough. And I'm thinking, these are obvious things that I can see up in the Stretford end. I don't need a Continental Pro license to do that. And I don't know,
We're talking about the football right now, but me today, like, I made a point to like make sure I stayed there to the whistle and soak that in, because there was a weird atmosphere from when you look at the weather today to the performance to the mood in the ground to just everything. It was kind of like the whole of the last 6-7 years just kind of culminated in that. Yeah,
it did feel like it, because I mean the other week when all the anti-Glazers, anti-Woodward chants, it was just a Stretford end. Tonight was the whole ground. It was the whole ground tonight. Everyone joined in, and it just felt like one of those where you look back on it and it's a turning point. And I don't know what happens to Ollie after this, but I don't know what to say, because
whether we agree on the manager being the right man, it's clear that the issues are bigger than him.
Well, yeah, I mean, my mate sent me this, right? So Liverpool starting lineup when Jurgen Klopp first came in: Mignolet, Klein, Skirtle, Sacco, Moreno, Milner, Lucas Leiva, Emre Can, Lallana, Origi, Coutinho. Does Jurgen Klopp win a league with that? Look at his team now. Which one's winning the Premier League and which one's just won a Champions League? You can be the best manager in the world. You can be one of the top managers in the world. You're not winning the league with players that aren't good enough.
Do you think the whole recruitment of the last 6 years is really coming to impact us?
Obviously. I mean, it's clear to see. If you're looking at that, and we've been rumoured to be spending 30 million on Jude Bellingham, 16 years old, not proven, and we're not willing to pay an extra 20 million for Bruno Fernandes, that should tell you something about this club. And I'm not saying Ollie's the right person. I'm not saying that at all. Don't quote me on that. I'm saying, even if you get the best manager in the world, even if we went out and got Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp in right now, with that team, they are not winning the league. I'd be surprised if they get top 4.
We're not getting top 4.
No, we're not getting top 4, and no one else does. So don't look at Ollie. I mean, you can look at Ollie. He's made mistakes. But what else can he do with that team?
Dave, you said you didn't want to add anything. Has anything come? I know you're kind of just hurting it.
It's one of them. It was an awful performance, but if we've got to take any type of positives, there were chances in there. I mean, Mata in the first half, I don't know what happened.
Mata, Martial, there was a few in the first.
Martial, I mean, James had a header, that was a great save, and then right at the end, Lingard. There are the chances there.
Second half, there wasn't many, was there? But Burnley deserved it based on that second half.
Once they scored that second goal, it was game over. There's no way we were getting back into that. It's not the same United that would go for it, teams gone by, you'd think, right, we'll get a draw out of this or a win, but you just knew that was it.
You feel it's only going to get worse as well, Dave, and you feel the vociferousness, if that's a word, of the protest towards the owners are only going to get louder as well.
And I think it could get even worse. What's the next home game here? City. If they turn us over massively,
City, I think is it Watford or Wolves?
Is it Wolves?
City? We've already played City.
No, at home.
At home, yeah.
I just don't think, if we don't get a result at the next couple of home games, I think it could be dire. I think the fans could really turn. I mean, we've seen a little bit of it today, but I think they could be. And it's not towards Ollie, is it? I mean, like you were saying about, he could have the best manager in the world, but you're not going to win anything with that team. And I think it is the recruitment and behind the scenes. It's just.
I mean, it's not as if they sat back and just sat there to defend. They actually played some decent football there at times, and they were pressing high up at times. And if you look back to the squad that we've got. You say, should he be doing better with the squad that he has, right? Let's go through the squad. Strikers, Martial and Greenwood. One's, 22, Martial? Greenwood's a young player who's just come into the squad. Can't rely on him, so that's one striker. Marcus Rashford, your player's injured for the rest of the season. 3 number 10s who aren't good enough in Pereira, Mata and Lingard. Right wing, there's no one. Daniel James has just come in from the Championship. He needs time to settle in. Okay, let go of that. Who else do we have? No one. Go further back. Wan-Bissaka. Great, good signing. After that, Dallow's not getting a look in because he's not defensive enough, good enough defensively. Who's after that? Ethan Laird. You're going into the kids. Centre-backs, you've got Maguire. Good signing, I think.
He was at fault for that goal today.
He was at fault for the goal. Played everyone on.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a few rusty performances, and I'll accept that. But all in all, I'd say he's a decent signing. Who's next to him? Lindelof. All right, 2 good signings. Good options. Who after that? Tuanzebe, who's never actually had a good full season in a Premier League starting lineup. Who after that? Phil Jones.
That's clearly not good enough, is your point.
Left back, and it's Williams. That's our first choice left back. He's great, but he's young. We don't have the options to go with. It's a thin squad, and you can't expect anything less than this. And it's going to get worse, and those chances are going to get louder.
What do you make of it today?
It was just shocking all around. It's just absolutely summed the season up for me, to be honest. I mean, I say it like 2 rows in front of you, and there was just no atmosphere there whatsoever.
A lot of empty seats as well. In the row between us was practically empty.
Nowhere. To be honest, I've only been a season ticket holder for 6 seasons now, but I've never seen it that empty. Never. Midweek games, getting Europa League games, nothing that empty.
Cup games you can expect it, but league games as well. When people have paid for their tickets, it's weird, isn't it?
You can get the cup games where you're having to fork out like extra on top of your season ticket, but not league games. There's just no excuse for it. And
you're wearing green and gold there. Do you think it's going to get louder and there's going to be more scarves and more singing in the ground?
I mean, the big thing that stood out for me is against when we played Norwich weekend. We was winning, and the chants started coming out for the first time this season that I've heard for Edward. We said the Glazers said, when you're winning and you're getting those chants, I think that's when you're going to get the impact where they're thinking, right, maybe not, we're not working it. 2-0 down, don't make a difference who you're shouting for, because they're just thinking that you're doing it out of anger. When you're winning and you're getting like the chants calling for the Reds, that's when they're gonna start thinking. Personally, that's what I think anyway. So.
Do you think changing the manager would do anything, or is it more than him?
I've got quite a strong opinion on this, to be honest. I don't think Ollie's the right or wrong man for it. I don't think who we're getting will change it whatsoever. I think they've used Ollie as a scapegoat since when they came in. I mean, Ollie had a good run. He was contracted to the end of the season. He weren't going to go back to wherever he was instead of United. We could have just waited. We could have just waited to the end of the season, seen how we did, then contracted him if that was the right thing to do. But they contracted him. I think the Glazers and Edward and the rest of the board know that there's a rebuild needed, and they've got Ollie in as a scapegoat, because I think they think the fans won't turn against Ollie as quick as they would do with anybody else. If Poch came in and we're getting these results, fans will be calling for the Reds a lot louder than what they're calling for Ollie's, and I feel a bit sorry for Ollie, to be honest, because the players aren't there. I mean, you can comment on his substitutions, his starting 11. Who are you actually going to bring on instead of him? Because there's not players on the bench. You're looking at 2-0 down. You bring in Lingard on, who's not scored or assisted in a year. You got who else came on? Luke Shaw. I mean, Williams. There was about 4 players on that pitch week in, week out that you can see put a graft in. Freddie's not their quality, but he puts a graft in. He will fight for the badge on his chest. I believe so. Anyway, Williams, young lad coming through, he fights for the badge. There's not many players on that pitch that will fight. But Williams came off today. He probably weren't the right player for me to come off. But he's 2-0. There's nobody else to bring on.
There isn't. Man, appreciate your time. Thank you.